Hey guys, and welcome to another Wackimus HD figure reviews. I'm your host, Chill Wackimus Prime, and we are going to be taking a look at a brand new Transformers Generations truck. Now, I'm a truck guy. I know you guys are truck guys too that are out there, and this guy is pretty cool. He deserved one a long time ago, so we never got a figure for a while, but here he is, Generations Trailcutter. And actually, this version is Takara's, so maybe this is something you haven't really seen. Gives you a different look at the same mold, different paint scheme though, and I'm going to review them for you guys. So guys, sit back, relax, enjoy as we take a look at Takara's rendition of Trailcutter. Hello and welcome everyone to this review of Transformers Generations Trailcutter Takara release. Trailcutter here is a bushwhacker of an off-road truck, homaging G1 Trailbreaker, and let's face it, he is actually Trailbreaker. As such, he shares not only a similar vehicle mode, but he's adorned in a very similar paint scheme, right down to the red and yellow painted stripes on the sides of the vehicle mode here. There's also some silver detailing picking out a winch attached to the front bumper, and man, this guy looks like he's ready to go off-road. This Takara release meant that you got a remold of Counterpart Hoist in a 2-pack along with Trailcutter, which was a nice little inclusion of the set. And although very similar, there are enough slight tweaks to set these two characters apart and nods in the direction of G1 fans everywhere who know and love these two characters. Trailcutter rolls very well as a truck, which is kind of surprising when you take a look at the underside of him. You'll find one set of rolling wheels at the back and a set of half-rolling wheels at the front that sometimes kind of cause some binding and a sheer dragging effect on the front tires, which is unfortunate at times. He also comes with a canopy on the back, which can be removed, and it simply plugs in using a little peg at the front of the canopy that plugs into the back of the cab section of the truck. It's a nice little feature, and I'll get onto this a little bit later on. All in all, I like Trailcutter's little off-road truck here. It kind of reminds me of a little Toyota pickup truck that's been outfitted for off-road. It's very cool, something I could see myself driving. But guys, he can do more, so let's check that out. Trailcutter's transformation is a product of Hasbro's recent attempt at simpler design Transformers for younger audiences to enjoy. This may turn some fans off, but to me, I can understand it. And besides, a simpler Transformer can sometimes be a breath of fresh air to me, to be honest. In retrospect, Trailcutter's transformation is kinda neat that way. The end results in a rather tough-looking bot who offers a lot in both articulation and character, sure to win over most critics of this simplified style that Trailbreaker has now adopted. Especially because I think this is the first answer to the fans for a real half-decent Trailbreaker Trailcutter type figure from Hasbro and Takara. And we waited how long for it? Trailcutter's articulation really gets the job done, and it's kind of interesting because he doesn't have a whole lot in order to do it, but what he does have gets everything across really well. Just quickly, look at all the beautiful paintwork that's on this guy. This silver is amazing to see in person. It almost reminds me of the Botcon Wings of Honor set that came out. It's almost Krylon type silver that's on there. Really, really nice. As well as the red on his eyes, just fantastic. But anyways, for articulation, his head is on a swivel that goes back and forth, so a lot of left and right movement, not too much up and down. His arms are on a ball joint that allows outwards movement, as well as a bit of a swivel. And got a little bit of a loose arm there, as you can see, as well as forwards and backwards movement, but pretty basic. He's also got a 90-degree elbow there, just under 90 degrees, unfortunately. As well as a bicep swivel. So, again, it does the job. He also, as you could see there, a little bit of a wrist movement due to transformation, so if you need to use that, you could, I guess. His waist also has a 360 swivel right at the top there, as well as ball jointed hips here that go inwards and outwards, forwards and back, Knees also do 90 degrees, as well as there's a thigh swivel at the top. As well as he gets a slight bit of toe bend at the toe, so you can do maybe slight walking poses or kneeling or whatever the case may be. You might be able to use that for. So, yeah, all in all, pretty basic. The only last thing that really moves is this, I guess you call it shield, his shield generator, yeah. And it can move up and down. I usually pose it just slightly so it's kind of looks like it's just going over top of his head. So pretty basic, but gets the job done. Trailcutter's only accessory ends up being his canopy from truck mode, which unfolds to form a shield-like weapon he can hold. He can hold it using this red little handle bit that flips out from the canopy. It also had some molded on blasters and can be used via any of the 5mm peg locations located on the shield, as well as in his bot mode for all sorts of different combinations and configurations for your liking. Although this is a pretty suiting accessory for the shield generating Autobot of Trailcutter, I kind of feel robbed not having him come with an additional blaster that he could have used in unison with this shield of his. Then again guys, c'est la vie, what can you do? That's how the figures are going these days, I guess. Shelving that minor complaint for the time being though, Trailcutter fulfills most of the criteria that he needs to for me. He is a decent representation of the character I knew and loved in the G1 series, and he fits in with the scale of my Classics and Generations figures rather well. Although he is a smidge on the small side, I would say, and a little hollow feeling at times, however, I think he makes up for that in some more than decent articulation. So it's a real balancing act of articulation versus cost cuts for me. But he comes in just on the winning side that allows me to genuinely like this guy, but just by the skin of his teeth. What I also like about this guy is looking at the Spotlight Trailcutter series, we can see he's very on model with his comic book counterpart, and you can see some real IDW inspiration there. Something Hasbro's been really doing a good job lately, and I really appreciate this. Especially since this seems to be the main G1 inspired series for fans currently running today. Hasbro acknowledging this is not only beneficial for them, I'm sure, but it's surely beneficial for me since I really enjoyed the designs and work done on these comic book series, and I get the opportunity now to have on-model representations of this comic genre. Of course, this isn't the case for everyone, and if it's not for you, I'd still say that Trailcutter is a pretty decent figure and a decent reimagining of Trailbreaker. Not the best of figures out of the line, but certainly nowhere near bad. Well guys, this has been Wackimus Prime saying I hope you enjoyed this review. We'll catch you all next time.